Hey everyone, it is serotonin call. Keep wanting to say I'm calling you, but I'm not. I guess I am calling you today. Let me just make sure this is recording. It is. Okay, I've been having a bit of trouble with the old computer today. Um, okay, guys, this is another website that I go to a lot. I also wanted to, again, what is it called? Think Different, the People's Club. Excellent. Oh, see, that's how often I go there. Okay. Oh, and I even have it on the little desktop right there. Okay. This is super important. I am taking a diversion from my regular topics to talk about this. Okay. Bill HR25 will abolish income tax and change your life if Congress approves it. It's really important to get this out there. Because chances are you're not going to hear a whole lot about it because of the media blackout, the MSM media blackout. So I really wanted to talk about this today. This is super important. And I'm going to read it actually directly from the Starship Earth Big Picture website, even though it came initially from Thomas Williams on yesterday's show, the Truth, Honor, and Integrity show, Thursday, the 10th of January. So you can access that here like this, and you can listen to it live. Right there, you just press that and then it just takes you there. Or you can, I also like to do this one up down here because it kind of gives you can skip he likes to put in music in his videos like I do. He's big into hair rock, like hair metal and stuff. And so sometimes I skip over his songs because he likes stuff like Whitesnake, and that's not really my thing. So no offense, Thomas. I think you're just amazing, but I don't like Whitesnake. So, okay. Bill HR25. Let me just read this because, and part of the reason I'm reading this is because I don't think I could say it any better than BP did in this particular article. So I'm just going to I'm just going to read it to you guys. And upon request from one of my viewers, I will try to read slowly. I don't read slow because I don't think slow. And I'm not saying that in a judgmental way. I'm a quick thinker. I'm just kind of like that. And I'm also a quick talker when I'm excited. So I will try really hard to just not sound too fast. Okay. So here we go. So share and share alike, people. Please do share this news. Please, please, please. Okay. If you have a platform to share this news, please be sure to do so. It is important that the people know what is in play in Congress, and we need to be vigilant watchdogs on this one. Also, let your senators know are watching, and if they vote against it, you will vote them out. If you listened to the intel from Thomas Williams last night, you heard the best news of your life to date. No one will be able to claim nothing is happening. This is huge. The Mana World Holding Trust team, and definitely I haven't talked about them much because I have a hard time explaining things accurately. If you've ever asked me for directions to get somewhere, I probably got you lost before I got you there. So definitely check out Mana World Holding Trust when you go to here. You can just Google it. You can just put it in right there. Not Google it, search it. Okay. Okay, so the Mana World Holding Trust team has been working on legislation for tax reform since August of 2018. Now, Bill HR25 has gone to Congress, and if approved, it will mean a great deal more financial freedom for Americans. With the extra expendable income, hopefully all would soon remove their debt. Mr. Trump, President Trump, DJT, he knows all about these guys. He's on board with them, so don't you worry. Donald he's a good man. Okay. Even though sometimes it's hard to tell, he has to play a lot of silly roles and sort of duck and cover a lot of stuff. Okay. The illegal income tax on our wages, would be abolished, and in its place we would have a flat 10% spending tax, and that would be on non-essential items only, I believe. You do have to listen to the full report on this, and there's a link in this too. We will know exactly who the deep state / cabal actors are in Congress by who refuses to approve this legislation. So please pay close attention on this one. And there is also this news. President Trump initiated a 12% tax on all millionaire shareholders operating under a foundation. Wow, his Trumpness has really outdone himself and socked it to the greedy Kabbalists with their offshore accounts, pay for play, multiple ways to avoid paying taxes. Let them bear the brunt of taxes. The trust team estimates that in 3 to 5 years, America will be debt-free and entirely self-sufficient. None of the income tax ever collected was used in America as a benefit to the people. Therefore, no one can say we will miss it. This isn't rocket science, it's economics. All it takes is for some smart people who really care about improving the human condition to actually do something simple. History of the illegal income tax fraud. Ending the illegal, unconstitutional system used for decades to tax our wages would free up phenomenal amounts of earnings for the people and take our lifestyle to levels unimagined. Income tax was introduced as a, quote, voluntary tribute to the crown. None of it has gone towards assisting America or the people. Similar arrangements exist in Canada, France, and the UK, and many other countries, and they should soon also follow suit. So, my fellow Canadians, let's keep our ear to the ground here. The Crown is not Queen Elizabeth. It is 1 square mile principality in the city of London, UK, run by the Rothschild, aka Rothschildians. No matter how much money the New World Order monsters had, it was never enough, and their greed knows no bounds. And I just want to say here that as our ridiculous muppet of a prime minister, when he was sworn in, he swears to Queen and Crown, not to the Canadian people. So he has sworn allegiance to this particular area, which is owned by the banksters. So it explains a lot about what's going on there. And just as an aside, if you have a child in the Boy Scouts or anything like that, they also pledge allegiance to the Crown. So that's really messed up. I just wanted to mention that because that's just a really messed up thing. And I actually have a whole thing that I want to talk about with the Trinity. I believe that what they call the Holy Trinity is actually merely Washington, D.C., the Crown, this particular spot in London, and of course the Vatican. They're all lands within lands that have nothing to do with the countries that they're in, and all have everything to do with being protected, and are definitely owned by the same group of people. So the Rothschilds, the Rothschildians, the Pope, the Black Pope, the Jesuits, all those guys. Okay. So we continue. Okay, those who are educated as to the real Constitution will know we have been lied to, and the IRS used as a weapon to levy strong arm tactics to wring what little income the people have from them with threats and jail time. That will end. The organic Constitution for the Republic has not been in use since 1871, when the real people's government ended and the impostors took over. Thomas tells us that the deep state actors cannot afford to tell us that Constitution currently is in use is bogus, so it almost forces them to comply and pass Bill HR25 to abolish income tax. But we'll see what happens. As always, I urge you to listen to Thomas explain this scenario. He really is incredible, and he's just very good. And he's been working on it, so he knows all the ins and outs. He covers it around the 102 mark here on Spreaker.com, which is my favorite way to listen, which is this one up here. And I actually just got myself an account, and I think I'm going to be starting a blog, like a podcast. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue going on YouTube. I might find an alternate platform because I think there's funky stuff going on. Well, I know funky stuff is going on. Anyway, he covers it around the 102 minute mark here on Spreaker.com. But as always, the entire show is well worth your time if you really understand what is unfolding on our planet, where the news is spun as propaganda and weaponized. The show is jam-packed with information we need to know and provides valuable perspective on current events. And I talk about this show a lot, so I do urge you to start listening. He's a really incredibly interesting guy. The video version is down here. It is on YouTube. YouTube, sorry. But we're not sure what point the tax reform is because Thomas removes the music that he does when he's on YouTube. So I'm not entirely sure where you're going to find it there. So the other part of Bill HR25 concerns the IRS, which goes hand in hand with the income tax reform. Thomas says after this restructuring, there will be no more harassment or garnishing of wages. The Internal Revenue Service is based in Puerto Rico. The intent is to bring it back to the mainland, and only the top echelon criminals would lose their jobs. Thomas revealed that this bill will mean the end of all federal taxes, which means not only on our wages, but also on our property, home, vehicles, telephone, etc. So the reform will benefit all of us. If you're not living in the US, it's still very likely that this is going to there's going to be a trickle-down effect or a trickle-over effect for sure. Understanding faction infighting and propaganda. Some other extremely valuable information Thomas discussed was the various factions fighting for control, which we have mentioned before, and if you're unaware of this, it will make it impossible to decipher alternative news or any other. You would be confused as to why certain alternative media people sound like your friend most of the time and then slip in something that is violently opposed to your view of who is who in the zoo. And I've actually started to unfollow a lot of people in the alternative media because it is definitely hugely compromised. I mean, it's obviously mainstream media, but the alternative media is massively compromised. Massively. It also explains why many of the information is very good, but you just don't get the warm fuzzies about everyone. And I will say this, people always say go with your gut. Don't go with your gut. They feed us all kinds of crazy stuff. Go with your heart. If what they're saying doesn't align with what your heart tells you, like what love tells you, I know it sounds kind of funny, then, don't listen to them, okay? It's time to see with your heart. We understand there are 5 factions. Okay, so the Illuminati are done because we named them and we called them out. So they have factions now. Zionists, Jesuits, Asian dragon families, Nazis, Operation Paperclip, and the people/patriots of all nations, humanity. Obviously, the factions don't implicate their own members in anything nefarious, so that helps narrow it down as to which faction they belong to. Who are they allied with and who do they trash? Who are they protecting? They may sound like on our side. They may sound like they're on our side, but are they? Why do some love QAnon and others say it's a LARP? Why do some love Trump and others hate him? Who gets nominated to run for office and by whom? How many former CIA and FBI people are out there in the alt media? How about former military and secret space program people? All telling it their way. Who might have an agenda? And those ex-military people are pretty obvious. They kind of look ex-military, they act ex-military, and they often will tell you they're ex-military. So just, keep that in mind. It's smart to use multiple sources for information, but blind loyalty is not savvy, and we've all been fooled. It's a jungle out there. Going forward, right now, Trump is our best shot, and he is operating in a pit of vipers. He is not free to do what he wants and is constantly wrestling with deep state actors and members of various factions. Thankfully, he has survived multiple assassination attempts, but if Trump goes down, who stands between us and the psychopaths who are determined to confiscate the guns and use their hybrid armies to round us up and throw us in FEMA camps for re-education or elimination? This really calls into mind Gaddafi for me. So he was demonized by everyone, and he was the only thing that stood between freedom and Libya being completely overrun by Islamist extremists back in the 80s. So history repeats itself. We anticipate the factions will duke it out until there is only one group remaining besides the people. And at that time, we will have a much easier job of wresting control from them and taking over for the benefit of humanity and running the planet ourselves, without the mind control, manipulation, and subjugation of those who believe it is their right to rule. As I said recently, this government shutdown is a good thing in the sense that it shows Americans how little their massive government actually does with respect to running the country on a day-to-day basis. It's been 3 weeks now and the world didn't end. We can easily pare down the numbers of government employees for a leaner, meaner, but more people and budget-friendly administration. Thomas cautions we will not likely be able to make sense of the news and public intel just now because the real details cannot be released. Understandably, people are speculating and sometimes presenting their take as fact when it is not. He says martial law is not imminent, at least not right now, and things are not what they seem. It is only natural to wonder what various bits of news mean and make assumptions when we aren't told the truth, but Thomas advises us not to get worked up over what we are seeing/hearing. The Mockingbird media operatives are adept at presenting information that serves their agenda with the slant that they choose while only presenting part of the story which skews the reality entirely. This week, things are at a very precarious and dangerous point with many more assassination threats and no intel will be released until it is safe to do so. We can be thankful for what we do get, and there's far more here on the Truth, Honor, and Integrity show than anywhere else, as thousands of patriots are learning. The membership and listenership at Spreaker, YouTube, MeWe, and Facebook, and Think Different/People's Club sites have gone through the roof. Better late than never. Thank you, Thomas, Kim, and everyone instrumental in the exciting forward momentum of our liberation. Be safe out there. BP. So I'm going to put links to the show in there. I'm going to put links to this article in the description box below. Please share this. This is to benefit every single person living in your country, the U.S., and everyone else's countries once you got wind of this. As we know, this is a global thing. This is happening. This isn't just in America. So please share as much as you can. If you want to leave a comment below, you can. I really don't know how much more I can say about this and that. Anyway, guys, I hope this news comes to you with a big smile and maybe a big surprise. And please, please do share this information. It's really important to get it out there. Every single person in the country of America and the United States should know about this. Please, it's super important. Your freedom is so important to the rest of us because I know where we go one, we go all. God bless you. Have a great night.